YouTube, it's your boy Dio. Today's video is gonna be a part 2 of the video I did a couple weeks ago. That video is called Embrace the Darkness to See the Light. This video is an extension to that one. And the topic today is why death, cold, and sadness are the default of life. When God was creating the universe, we're told how he created the sun, created everything, put it in the world. It was a wilderness. We're not told that he created the cold. It was already there. And it's true because when the sun rises in the morning, it gets warm. When it's absent, we go right back to cold. The same is true for darkness. When the sun appears, it gets bright. When it disappears, we go right back to the darkness. But going back to sadness, whenever you're happy, you notice that the magnitude of your happiness is replaced by an equal and opposite magnitude of sadness. If you go to a party, you enjoy yourself, listen to music, you're all around people, everyone is happy, music is blasting loud. When it's all over, you go home, you feel this sense of emptiness. And it could be out of nowhere. It just feels like happiness is always temporary. Always temporary. If you have a party at your house, for example, you cook meals, invite people, everyone comes, you all join in, you sit at a table of 100, more than 100 people. You sit in a room full of happy, excited people on a union of whatever it could be. It could be a celebration of graduation, marriage, or anything. There's a point in a party where the first person comes in, the first guest, more guests come in, and then the last guest comes in. You go on and enjoy, and then at some point in a party, the first guest leaves and more people leave. The room still has people in it. It doesn't feel empty yet. As more and more leave, there's a point where the last person leaves. And it's usually a friend or family friend or simply a family member. You laugh for a few minutes with them, and then they say, "Thank you for your invite." They leave. And then the only thing remaining are the echoes of their laughter, the charms, the screams of kids running around in the room, echoes of names being called. And then you have dirty plates and knives, and the sink is full of plates. And then you stay alone. You were so happy that everyone was there, and now the happiness turns into memories. It becomes a memory, and the memories last longer than the party itself, and the sadness you get lasts longer than the happiness you encountered a couple hours ago, a couple days ago, a couple years ago. So happiness usually turns into sadness. In that way, if every moment of happiness is replaced by an equal or greater magnitude of sadness, that means sadness is the default. And then talking about death, we were all dead before we came to life. There was a point in time we did not exist. There was a point where our names were never called anywhere. Our identity, our DNA never walked on this planet. We were just an idea, a concept. We were phenomenal. We were not created yet. And then we were conceived in our mother's womb. We were in there for a couple months, usually 9 months. And then we came to life. And it almost looks like as soon as you're born, your timer starts. Your death starts to approach you. It gets closer to you by the minute, by the hour, day, years and decades. And then at some point, you start to get closer to your last breath. And then you get on your deathbed. You go through all your memories. And after your last breath, finally, you pass away. And then, on the day of your funeral, you're carried in your casket, carried to your grave. You're lowered under. There's so many people there with you. You may or may not recognize who they are, but they're there. Family members crying, friends thinking about, oh, I was just with him 2 days ago. I was just with him this morning. I was right with him before he passed away. He said this to me. He said we're going to meet tomorrow. He said we're going to do this. He had plans. It doesn't matter now. It doesn't. And then, at some point in the funeral, the first person turns their back on you. They leave. They go away. People stay. Closest friends, family members crying near you. Leave one by one. They start to turn their back. You're underneath. You're underground. And then at some point, the last person turns their back and leaves. And then you stay by yourself. You stay in a home that appears to now be your forever home. Just like you were before you came to life. Now, life after death, if there's any, is a controversial topic. Everyone believes whatever they want to believe. Some believe that we live in spirit. Some believe that we're dead. We cease to be alive. Some believe that we turn into some other entity. We are in a different dimension. So in a way, that's saying death is the default. So, death, cold, and sadness are the default of life. Before it gets warm, you need it to be cold first. And after the warmth and the heat is gone, you go right back to the cold. Sadness is default because as soon as the happiness is gone, you go right back to the void, which usually is sadness, an absence, an emptiness. Nothingness. It's like there's nothing. And then with death and life, first you're dead. You never existed. Your DNA has never walked on this planet. No one ever called your name. No one knows about you. You come to life for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You may become prominent, change history. You may be written about in history books. But eventually, you will cease to exist. You will come to an end. And then you will go in your grave. And then the last person is going to turn their back on you. And then you will go right back to being dead. Or at least absent. Like you never existed. Like you never existed. Whether you're talked about or not, you're all in the memories now. You're gone. And I learned that when my grandma passed away. She has been alive for so long. Seen her ever since I've been alive. Ever since I started to understand that it felt like she would never be absent. And then she passed away. And all that was left was memories. And now she's been gone for a while that it looks like she would never return, which is most likely true. Thank you for watching. And have a great day.